The marble lobby goes silent the moment the boy speaks. Not quiet, not still. Silent. Two security guards have him by the arms. His feet drag across the polished floor. His jacket is torn at the shoulder. His shoes have no laces. His face is dirty and thin and calm. The kind of calm that does not come from safety, but from a child who has already decided he has nothing left to lose. Every suited man in the lobby has stopped moving. Every phone call has paused mid-sentence. Every pair of eyes has found this small, struggling boy, and the powerful man standing 3 feet away, staring at him with the cold, unreadable expression of someone who has not been surprised in 20 years. Marcus Cole, 52 years old, CEO, the kind of man whole rooms adjust for before he enters. He was walking to the elevator, board meeting in 18 minutes, the largest acquisition of his career, waiting upstairs in a glass room full of patient, expensive people. He stopped because the guards stopped in front of him. He asked one question, one word really, who? And the boy, 12 years old, hollow-cheeked, arms pinned by men 3 times his size, lifted his eyes directly to Marcus's face, not to his suit, not to his shoes, to his face, and said it. 4 words, quiet, certain, devastating. I'm not a thief, a breath. I'm your son. The lobby does not move. Marcus does not move. Somewhere above them, 18 floors up, 7 board members check their watches. The deal of the decade waits. The papers wait. The future waits. Down here, on a marble floor that costs more per square foot than most people earn in a month, a boy with dirty hands and broken shoes holds eye contact with the most powerful man in the building and does not blink. Marcus has no children. He has said this for 13 years, in interviews, in boardrooms, at dinners where the question came politely wrapped in wine and curiosity. He always answered the same way. Clean, final, closed, no children. So, why does something behind his ribs stop moving when the boy speaks? Security looks at Marcus for instruction. The lobby looks at Marcus for instruction. The whole polished, controlled world he built looks at him for instruction. He gives none. He stares at the boy, at the sharp, dark eyes, at the jaw set in a way that belongs to only one face he has ever seen in his life. And that face stares back at him from mirrors every morning. The boy's jacket is yanked toward the door. Something falls from his pocket. A small, crumpled photograph. It hits the marble floor and slides 2 inches and stops. Nobody picks it up. Marcus does not look down at it, but he knows it is there. Marcus Cole has survived everything this city has thrown at him without once losing his footing. But a 12-year-old boy in a torn jacket just said 4 words. And for the first time in 20 years, the ground beneath Marcus Cole does not feel entirely solid. What happens in the next 60 seconds will define everything that comes after. Marcus picks up the photograph alone. No one sees him do it. The lobby has emptied. The guards have moved on. The suited men have returned to their phones, their coffee, their comfortable certainties. The boy has been escorted outside. The marble floor is clean and polished and silent again, the way Marcus prefers every room he controls. He stands with the photograph in his closed fist. He does not open his hand yet. The elevator doors close around him. 17 floors of silence. He loosens his fist slowly, the way a man opens something he is not sure he wants to see. The photograph is small, crumpled at the corners, worn soft from being folded and unfolded too many times by hands too small for the weight of what it carries. Him, 13 years younger, smiling, genuinely, the way he has not smiled since. Beside him, a man he no longer speaks to. Behind them both, a window. Behind the window, a city that did not yet belong to him. Written on the back in faded ink. 1 word. Always. His thumb stops moving. The boardroom is full when he enters. 7 men. 1 agenda. 1 deal worth more than most buildings in this city. They look up when Marcus walks in, the way people look up at weather, checking the temperature of the room before deciding what to wear. He presents, clean, precise, controlled. Nobody in that room suspects that his left hand, resting flat on the mahogany table, is holding a crumpled photograph against his palm. Nobody suspects anything. That is exactly what Marcus has spent 20 years building, a face that gives nothing away. He almost believes it himself. Midway through the presentation, a junior assistant enters quietly. leans down, whispers. The boy is still outside. He asks the guard one question before sitting down on the front steps. How long until Mr. Cole comes back down? The guard told him it could be hours. It could be never. The boy said, "I'll wait." The meeting ends. The boardroom empties. His lawyer calls. Acquisition papers need a signature within the hour. 1 hour. Everything Marcus has built for 2 decades, one signature away from becoming permanent. He stands at the floor-to-ceiling window alone. Outside, 17 floors below, the rain has slowed to almost nothing. A pale gray light pushes weakly through the clouds. On the front steps of the building, a small figure sits with his knees pulled to his chest, arms folded against the cold. Not pacing, not leaving, waiting. An old man selling newspapers on the corner glances at the boy twice. A young worker passing the steps slows down, looks at the boy, then looks up at the building, then walks on. Nobody stops. Marcus picks up his phone, calls security. "Remove him," he begins to say. His mouth opens. The word does not come out. He stands at the window for a long time after that, phone in one hand, photograph in the other, while his lawyer calls back twice and the acquisition papers wait, and the entire empire he built on silence sits perfectly, expensively still around him. And 17 floors below, the boy does not move. He has spent 13 years building walls high enough that nothing could reach him. But tonight, with a crumpled photograph and an unsigned deal and 1 hour left, Marcus Cole realizes the walls were never keeping the world out. They were keeping him in, and what he does in the next 60 minutes will either close that wall forever or bring the whole thing down. Marcus does not send security. He goes down himself. No jacket, no phone, no title. The lobby guard watches him walk past without stopping. The revolving door turns. The cold evening air hits Marcus's face. The first unfiltered air he has breathed all day, outside the sealed, climate-controlled world he built to keep everything exactly as he wanted it. The boy is still there, sitting on the bottom step, knees pulled to his chest, jacket torn, shoes broken at the sole. His dark eyes, sharp and patient and terrifyingly familiar, find Marcus the moment the door opens. He does not stand up. He does not smile. He simply looks, the way someone looks at a thing they have waited a long time to see. Marcus sits down beside him, on the steps, in a suit that costs more than most men earn in 3 months. He sits down on cold stone beside a homeless 12-year-old boy and says nothing. A street vendor across the road glances over. An older man walking past slows his step, looks at the pair, and keeps walking. A young boy on a bicycle stops at the corner, stares openly, then rides on. Nobody understands what they are seeing. Marcus barely understands it himself. The boy reaches into his jacket, not for words, not for argument, for one thing only. A second photograph, smaller than the first, more worn, the edges soft from years of careful hands. Marcus takes it slowly and looks, himself, younger, holding a newborn wrapped in a white cloth. His own face looking down at something so small it barely fills his arms. With an expression Marcus has not worn since. Wonder, written on the back in a child's careful handwriting. One name, Marcus Cole. The day you held me. His hands begin to shake, not slightly, not secretly. The full, uncontrollable trembling of a man whose body has decided, without asking permission, that it is done pretending. His jaw tightens, his eyes close. One tear breaks, then another. He does not lift his hand to stop them. Upstairs, the acquisition papers wait unsigned. His lawyer has called 4 times. The deal of his career, 2 decades of calculated silence and sacrifice, sits 17 floors above him, one signature away. He does not move. He reaches into his pocket, takes out the first photograph, the one from the marble floor, places both of them side by side on his knee. The beginning. And what came after. His entire hidden life in 2 small pieces of paper held in 2 unsteady hands. He takes off his suit jacket. No speech, no promise, no carefully constructed sentence. He wraps it around the boy's thin shoulders. The boy does not pull away. The rain has stopped completely now. A pale gold light pushes through the clouds, weak and honest and real, and falls across the steps where a man and a boy sit together in the kind of silence that does not need filling. The boy leans, very slightly, against Marcus's arm. Marcus does not move away. He closes his eyes, and for the first time in 13 years, the most powerful man in the building feels like nothing more and nothing less than a man sitting in the cold with his son. A man can build an empire with his hands, but he cannot build back the years he spent turning away from the one thing that would have made it mean something.